these are the ads that we came to love. Back in 97, 98, Nixon was a fresh new thing for the skaters and snowboarders and stuff. For me, it was super cool. I liked watches, but these ones spoke to me in a different way. And it wasn't even so much about the celebrities and stuff, because I didn't know any skaters' names. I'd watch skate videos and snow videos, but I didn't like follow anybody really. So the way that the Nixon watches looked, and they're purpose built for skating and snow and surf, like, it was awesome. It was my culture. And so for me, from day one, I had a Nixon Don. It was sweet. Now, Star Wars is something I've also loved, grew up on it. So when you combine Nixon watches with Star Wars, you have an ultimate combination, Star Wars Nixon. I'm super happy that they did it. I haven't owned any of them yet, so this is my first. And they had to combine it with Boba Fett for me to get interested, I guess. Boba Fett is awesome. He's definitely my favorite character in the Star Wars universe. I've read all the other canon books. Follow him. I've got the Kaz Star Wars companion figure. I mean, there's all kinds of cool stuff. So this setup was awesome for me. I've got about 20 years worth of Nixon watches. As you can see, I've lost a couple along the way. I had a Pocket Rocket and a 5130 also. But anyway, jumped on watches.com. I was looking at this. I was really honestly looking all over to make sure I was getting the best price on this. Really nervous to buy a Nixon watch for $2,500 because, and we'll get to this later, people consider them kind of like fashion watches, and they don't consider them to be like luxury or purpose-built watches, which, once again, we'll get to that. I think it's really weird. But anyway, I was able to negotiate with the watches.com guys a little bit, and pick this up. So I'm bummed that the box came so beat up. I just pulled this out of the box, and this is what it looks like. This is the exterior Nixon box. I wish it was wrapped in plastic or something, but it's all scuffed up from being inside of the box. So watches.com, shame on you. I don't know if this would look any different if I would have bought it through Nixon or a boutique. Maybe they all are like that. But here, sliding it open, first thing I see, boom, it's dinged on the corner right there too. So this box has seen a little bit of abuse. It's probably all shipping abuse, and I think it's avoidable. Guys, we're Star Wars nerds. Like, we buy toys and put them on shelves and closets and display cases. We don't even like open them or play with them. We look at them. So, you know, it's not a capital offense for me. I'm not going to return it or anything over this, but it's avoidable stuff that I think that it would offend some people. And this is where you lose some of that luxury classification that people are looking for when they're buying expensive watches. So let's open it up. It's cool. At least they wrapped the main wooden display box with foam. It looks like there's foam all around, so I can hope and pray that there won't be any scratches on this case. Nothing that I can see so far. No scratches, but it does have keel stripes around it in the Boba Fett colorway, which is super cool. You see this box and you're like, yeah, wait a minute, 14. Double check my count. Okay, there's 14 keel stripes on this. Not that I'm a super Boba Fett nerd, but I kind of am. Last I checked, he has like 18 or 19 on his helmet, so I don't know what that means, but oh well. Let's open it up, have a look at this. Ooh, look at that. And the weight of this, like, the lid is, it's wood for sure, but the weight of this, the padding, it feels great. First thing I notice is how brilliant the sapphire glass looks on the front of this. Sapphire glass is, and let me say this real quick, I'm not a watch guy. I don't know. I know what I've learned just from studying about this watch. But sapphire glass is like almost impossible to scratch. You're more likely to break it before you're going to scratch it. So that speaks to you really quick as you open it. And look at that. Even on the camera, it looks really clear. They've got some kind of anti-matting or anti-glare underneath it, which I don't understand how it works, because look how much it glares just looking at it like that. I don't know, but here is a shot of what this looks like, fresh, opened. That's what you see. And oh, sweet, a Sarlacc pit. So if you look close, there is a Sarlacc pit holding this watch. Super cool. Todd Richards also kind of talked about it. Eternal resting place of Boba Fett. there's the watch on the pillow. I'm pulling it out, checking it out. I love the sweeping motion on the hand, which if you don't know what that is, it's not ticking. 1, 2, 3. It's sweeping. So it covers the second as it sweeps. And that's the EE3 carbine blaster that Boba Fett had. You can see his kill stripes up above. His colorway on the whole thing. Once again, look how brilliant the glass looks. That sapphire crystal is just like impeccable. It's awesome. I'm hoping that domed look does not get scratched, because I do plan on wearing this watch a lot. I am a user of watches, not a collector. The weight of the watch feels good, but look at this. This is kind of another thing. The pillow is peeling back. That's kind of how you detract from your luxury brand, I guess, that people want to say Nixon doesn't have that luxury brand going for them. That's the kind of stuff, though. Like, let's make the pillow just right. Let's do things just right. And I think that it would help the brand. The other thing are these stamped stainless steel clasps. Other brands have like these cool 3-piece kind of like clasps that kind of fit together. These are just flat stainless steel that gets coated or painted. This doesn't look like it's Cerakoted to me right here. Maybe it is, but it's a totally different texture than other parts on here. So we'll have to see how that wears. I hope it's Cerakoted because I want it to wear well. But yeah, other watches, if you want to up the luxury status on there, you know, they changed that. Now I have seen Rolexes and stuff that are like that too, but you know, I think it'll be okay. And luckily this looks like it's gonna fit me just fine. And you can see here the hex head screws. If I understood right when I called Nixon, that's the titanium bit on here, is the hardware. It says titanium 3-link, which doesn't really explain a lot to me. But Nixon told me it's the hardware when I called him. So who knows? If somebody can clarify on that in the comments, please jump on. I'd love to hear what part of this watch band is titanium, because it seems weird to me that you just have titanium hardware and that's it. So the band, super nice. The Cerakoting, which is like a polymer ceramic coating that they put on, is perfect. It looks like just totally perfect on here. So the band, the texture, everything looks great. The color looks great. Overall build on this watch feels and looks great. Now let's dig into the back. It's really hard to see. Right here you've got the Jaster Muriel sigil, which is kind of weird. I thought that they would do a mythosaur somewhere on here, maybe on the crown. But the sigil with the wheat is very cool as well. You can look up the backstory on him. But basically, Jango Fett used his name for a while, and Boba Fett adopted his sigil because his father used it. So his dad used it, then he passed it down. It was on his Mandalorian armor. I'm probably wrong about this, but you guys can flame me in the comments. I'm not like an expert in Star Wars. I'm also not an expert in watches. I'm just kind of an in-between normal guy. The movement you can see through that back. I believe the back is also sapphire glass, and then the sigil is printed on the inside, not on the outside, so it shouldn't wear off. Here is a shot of the 18. See, I've got 18 on Return of the Jedi helmet, so 18 kill stripes. The watch itself has 5, which they look even better in person. This is the Jaster Muriel sigil that's on the back of there. You can see it there. This isn't my watch. This is a Nixon image. But where's the mythosaur? Like, we all know the mythosaur. The EE3 blaster. You can see that they use that there for the second hand. I'm not in love with it, but it is a cool touch. This is maybe something you're wondering, hey, where have I seen that before? Well, that's Cerakoting on a gun, because Cerakote is known for doing firearm coating. So it's cool that they use that. I hope that it is like actually official Cerakote on there and they're not just calling it that. So here's the watch out of the box. Checking it out, you can see the sweeping EE3 blaster on there. The red, you can tell a little bit better on there how gold those kill stripes look. They're on the top. And once again, you do get a lot of glare on the front of this thing. It's just brilliant, and the glass is really nice. So I don't know what it would look like without anti-glare. It makes me wonder if it'd be even worse, but in the comments also, if anybody knows more about this, I'd love to hear it. The size on this thing, it's 46 millimeter, so like the Don and the Rover in those are 42, I think. And I love the size of the Rover. The Super Rover, perfect size for me. But this has a little bit more weight to it. It's a little bit bigger. I want to put it on now and see how it feels on my wrist. I'm dying to try that. So on my wrist, yeah, it's not as big and cumbersome, clunky as the 5130s, but it is bigger. It's definitely bigger than like the Rover and some of the kind of classic older Nixons. It's got a nice feel though. Definitely has a quality feel to it. It's not clanky. Some watches are too light for me and they feel cheap because of it. But some watches are too heavy because they think the added weight is where people get added value, I think. So for me, it fits my hand or my wrist perfect. Let's see how it compares to some of my other watches. Here's a Super Rover. This is like, I don't know, close to a 20-year-old watch too. And you can see that's 42 versus 46 millimeter case. So this is barely bigger than that Super Rover is. And I think it's actually a great size. Like, yeah, it's not the perfect size, but it is a really nice size still. And it does give you a little bit of added weight. So I like the feel of it. It's not the perfect size, but it's not a bad size. I will repeat that and say it over and over again. It does feel good. I don't have either one of them closed down right now because, well, the bands wouldn't go. I just want to show you how big they are next to each other. Now, this is the watch I daily right now. It's a Volta, and I love this watch. I've been wearing it for like 10 years. Solar powered, it works great. It's a 48 millimeter. It's probably just as thick as the Boba Fett watch, maybe a little bit slimmer, but side to side the case is bigger. And so this has been a really comfortable watch for me despite the size. And don't go just with the sizes. A lot of the stuff is going to change based on the case shape. This has a flat side to it, and so I don't feel it as much against the back of my hand when I'm doing stuff. So yeah, size-wise, this is right in between. The automatic, or the diplomatic, is right in between this and the Don, and the Rover. Here it is again. Now, a lot of guys, they need fancy watches because no F1 driver wears a watch like that. That's ridiculous. This guy, yeah, he needs a fancy watch. He needs millisecond precision. I was looking at something like a Rolex Milgauss like this. I like it, but it doesn't jump off the page at me. Like, it's okay, 6800, but it doesn't jump off. The Omega Speedmaster is like a more respected watch, but same thing, like it's a watch. It doesn't really jump off the page for me. You have to get into this kind of stuff for me before I start to like take notice of a watch. I love the APs. So Nixon at 2500, people are calling it a fashion watch. So I compared it to this Bell & Ross BR01 10th anniversary, and that's considered to be the luxury watch. So I wanted to look at how different these two watches really are, because everybody gives them complete different classifications. Pause this if you want to read through it. I just wanted to post this so you can see what I'm actually pulling material from. But that's the Nixon Diplomatic. This is the BR01 10th anniversary, so you can see major price difference just from the start. 5300, it's thought to be a watch you can invest in, right? Well, 5300, you can see right here, is already marked down to 4123 if you're paying with cash. So, I don't know. If you buy this watch, are you investing in anything? I don't think so. It's just a way that you can sell your brand and tell people that it's worth more. I don't know. Let's look at the comparison. So the Nixon has ETA 28-24-2 automatic movement. They make them in all kinds of places, but they do say that this is from the Swiss factory, what they're using inside this watch. The equivalent, Bell & Ross, they're using something similar to the ETA 28-92. It's a variant. So ETA used to outsource, from what I've read, and once again, not a watch guy at all, but they would outsource to Solita to have them make that. And so Sellita started making their own watches, which were like slight variants on these movements. Quality was the same. So a quick phone call and some Googling with Nixon, and from my understanding, it's a lifetime warranty. It covers anything that's not damage resulting from impact, accidents, mishandling, etc. So you get a lifetime warranty, and that includes servicing with it. Whereas if you go with something like the Bell & Ross, the Bell & Ross just has a 2-year limited warranty. They don't make any mention of service. Then again, Nixon doesn't make any mention of service in theirs either. They just say that it's a warranty. And Nixon actually says it's for parts. They don't mention labor. So it'd be interesting to see what happens when you get to the point that you actually need work done on it by Nixon. Here's a list of features, side-by-side features between the Diplomatic, BOBA FETT, and the Bell & Ross BR01 10th anniversary. Pause this if you want to slow it down and have a look at everything side by side, but I will make note of the major differences that I found, and I see that there's a competitive advantage to the Nixon side at half the price. So they both have 46 millimeter stainless steel cases. They're both coated. I mean, the Cerakoting's a brand. I don't know if it's better than ceramic regular coating. Nixon has a 200 meter water rating, titanium 3-link. They both have a variant on the ETA 28, 24, 28 movement, so they're both similar types of movement. I think it's debatable whether or not the BR Cal 302 is any better. It sounds like it's a variant on the Sellita SW30, so you'd have to look into that. Nixon has a lifetime warranty. It's limited to 100 pieces. It's way more rare, way harder to get, and the price obviously is a major difference. So when it comes down to it, they're all watches. You buy it for you. They're all depreciating assets. I think maybe rarely on occasion you're going to find a watch that's going to make you money, but buy a watch because you want it. I like this. It's different. It's very different from the other ones out there. It's not something that you're going to see on everybody's wrist. Quality is there. If I need any more precision timing than this, I don't. I never will. I cannot imagine a situation in which I will need anything more precise than what this is going to offer. It's a proven movement. It's great looking, great style. I would say that this is a watch that you can wear, and it's as luxury as any of these Bell & Rosses in the 5,000 to 10,000 range. So I also don't use a chronograph, and I never would, and I don't like chronograph watches, even though my Super Rover is. So get what you want.